Hey everybody, Kareem here. Hope you all had a very restful and nice spring break. Getting back into the swing of things here with making some supplemental videos for you guys to work on. The last video that I sent was for the big band was talking about the circle of fifths and making sense of that, what it is, how it's put together, and how to construct your scales. Today, what I'd like to do is go over how to practice scales. I think it's important to have some sort of a system or routine to do this. And I understand, everybody learns differently. Some people are more visual, some people are more tactile, some people are more auditory. But I've been doing this for a long time with students, and I think it is helpful to practice this way. Um, so what I'm going to do is just talk about how to figure these things out. So first things first, you want to know what the key signature is. So we're going to start with C major. If you're not familiar yet with your circle of fifths, you might want to get that up if you don't have these things memorized yet. But if you can think this through in your head, that's good too. Either way is fine. But I'm going to start with C major. So C major, the key signature for C major, meaning how many sharps or flats are in the key of C major, is nothing, zero. So you go to whatever your instrument is, and you finger and spell it first, saying the note names going up and then coming back down. And as you remember, like we talked about in the last video, it always follows the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, going up and coming back A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. So that'll help us figure this out. So I'm going to use, for today's example, kitty keyboard here. So yes, and we'll set it for meows. So finger and spell the scale first. So we're starting on C major. So we got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And coming back down, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And remember, no, we don't want to just get the tactile part of this, the memorizing under the fingers, but we want to be able to think through these things too. So once we've spelled it up and down and fingered it as well on the instrument, then we play it. Meow, 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 meow. Now, along with that, aside from just doing the scale up and down one octave, what I would recommend, is also doing the chord. You can do 1, 3, 5, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or you could also do 1, 3, 5, 7. For the class right now today, for this thing, I'm going to do 1, 3, 5, 7 because we use seventh chords a lot in jazz. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 3, 5, 7. So that would be C, E, G, B, B, G, E, C. And again, I think it's important to finger and spell these two before you play it. So chord. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah. So C major scale, C major chord. The other thing I'd recommend for ear training is to play some sort of song, so you start working on playing songs in all 12 keys. This is very good for your ear, and also later on, particularly if you're going to be doing more like jazz and improvisation, learning vocabulary and transcribing and all that kind of stuff too. So for this, today I'm just going to do something simple like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And remember, these things, when you're thinking through melodies, they're numerical sequences. So, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 1, 5, 5. 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. And the thing about the numerical pattern is whatever's true in one key is going to be true in another key. So now if I move on to G major and do the same thing, first things first, key signature. So the key signature for G major is 1 sharp, F sharp. Finger and spell the scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Then we play the scale. Then we think through our chord, 1, 3, 5, 7. So that's going to be G, B, D, F sharp, D, B, G. And now I go to my melody, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And again, it's 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. So that gets us started. So there you have it. Um, yeah, and again, I think all of these things you can take major scales. You can do the same thing with dominant seven scales, Dorian minor scales, any type of scale that you want. But being able to spell it up and down and also do the chord before you play it, I think is very very important because you're thinking through it, not just getting the tactile thing. I know from my own experience, like when I was in high school working on this stuff, I would prepare for my lessons and I would learn it and memorize it how it felt. I'd go in and play the lesson, and then like 2 weeks after the lesson was gone, I'd have forgotten my stuff. So I think the fingering and saying it really helps solidify it in your brain. Let's move on to another one here. So the next one after G, if we're going around the circle of fifths on the sharp side, would be D, which has two sharps. Key signature is F sharp and C sharp. Three groups and four, the fingering and spelling the scale. So we've got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. Play the scale. Then our chord is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7. So that's D, F sharp, A, C sharp, A, F sharp, D. And then we've got our melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. 1, 1, 5, 5. So there you have it. So if the other thing is too, if you're a piano player, obviously there's different finger groupings that we can use for these scales. So if you need help with that, let me know. But you can also find those online too with a quick Google search, like which fingerings to do for this. So that we don't trip up with our fingers going up and down the keyboard. Everybody else, I mean, you just use your fingering chart that you have in the back of most of your band books. And you can find those online too if you're not sure where the fingers are supposed to go. But hopefully at this point, if you're in high school and you've been playing in band for quite some time, you know where the fingerings are. But if you don't know any of the fingerings, or if there's a few that you don't know, most fingering charts that you can download should have that for you. And if not, reach out to myself or Paul and we can help you figure that out. Let's move on to the next one. So 3 sharps is going to be A. So that's going to have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp for our key signature. If we spell the scale, so we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A. Play the scale. We do our chord, 1, 3, 5, 7 is going to be A, C sharp, E, G sharp, E, C sharp, A. All right, and then we do our melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. And again, I mean, why are we starting with nursery rhymes? Because for the most part, most of you guys know nursery rhymes. You already have them in your head because you've heard them a million times. If I said do this with, the Star Spangled Banner or Happy Birthday or Flight of the Bumblebee, it's not going to go so well. But with nursery rhymes, they're shorter and you probably already have those melodies committed to memory, so you'll have more success with them. So start with things that are easy, and once you have more experience taking a melody through all 12 keys, then you can start branching out and doing more difficult things. So, but knowing that numerical sequence and applying it to every scale will help with this because it's, like I said, it'll be the same in every key. The other thing that actually I should have started with saying is, it's nice to have some sort of routine for practicing these because, right now you guys have boatloads of time aside from being quarantined, but typically, you have schoolwork or a housework or a job or responsibilities that take in your time. So you have to break things up. So what I like to do to practice these things is pick like 2 scales a day. So for example, on Monday, work on G and D. On Tuesday, work on A and E. On Wednesday, B and F sharp. On Thursday, C and F. Friday, B flat, E flat, Saturday A flat and D flat, and on Sunday take a day off. But that way you're covering all 12 keys on a regular basis. You could do 3 scales a day, right, and do it in 4 days, or however you'd like to break it up. But depending on time, it's nice to have a routine figured out so that you can get through all 12 of your major scales and practice them. But like I said, go through and don't just do the tactile part where you're memorizing them by feel, but memorize the key signature, finger and spell the scales and the chords, ascending and descending, and then, you know, play through them. And also do some melodies too. I think that certainly helps. Let's move on to the next one here. So let's go to 4 sharps, which is going to be E. So our key signature here is F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E. This does this if you don't play it for a while. It starts purring. Yeah, that. So anyways, here's the scale. Here we go. Our chord is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7. So E, G sharp, B, D sharp, D sharp, B, G sharp, E. Our melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. So, yeah. Another thing too is there's so many different ways that you can practice your scales. Right now what we're doing, or what I'm showing here, is just 1 octave. You can practice these scales the entire range. You could practice them all the way tongued, or different articulations, right? I had a really great teacher a long time ago by the name of Don Lamphere. He was a very well-known saxophonist from the Seattle area. He had lived in New York for a time, and he used to play with the Woody Herman Band, and he was friends with a great bassist by the name of Ray Brown. And he actually played, I think, in the Woody Herman Band with Charlie Parker a long time ago. And so I was studying with him for a while, and we were talking about practicing scales, and he was talking about articulating, and what they used to do is, you know, tongue every single thing. So if I was doing a scale, ta, 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 so grouping scales in 1s, meaning you're tonguing every single note. Or you group scales in 2s, where you're tonguing every 2 notes. So for example, tongue slur, ta, 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 ta. Or grouping scales in articulations of every 3. Ta, 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 ta. So how you practice scales are, it's endless, and we can talk more about this at a later lesson. But what I'm doing right now today is just doing 1 octave and showing you this. But if you have questions or concerns about, well, how should I be practicing these things, you can always email me too. My email is on the School of the Arts website, and I'm happy to give you some further instruction. Let's move on to the next scale here. So the next one is B, which has 5 sharps. Our key signature is F, C, G, D, A. Finger and spell the scale. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, B, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp, B. Play the scale. Our chord is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, so B, D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, F sharp, D sharp, B. And the melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. All right, cool. So before we run out of time here on the video, and I'll do maybe a 1 or 2 more scales, the big takeaway here is be sure that you know the key signature, right? You can finger and spell the scale ascending and descending. You're not playing it, you're fingering and spelling it, so you're getting the notes and the pattern arranged in your brain. And then do the same thing with the chord, 1, 3, 5, 7, and then a simple melody. So if you can do those things, fine. If you need to write them out, if that helps you too, by all means do that. There's no shame in doing that, but the more and more you do this, the faster and easier this process becomes. And the way we want to think about scales, it's not a punishment. It's not busy work. You know, practicing your scales, if you're doing music, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like vacuuming the floor. It's like doing laundry. It's never done. I mean, you're never going to be done with it. It just makes you a stronger musician in terms of being able to think through this stuff for theory purposes, for technical proficiency on your instrument, and you know, if you're doing improvising, be able to think through those things and make sense of, you know, vocabulary and melodies and things like that. So let's do one more here. F sharp major, 6 sharps, F, C, G, D, A, and E. So we've got, spell the scale, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, E sharp, D sharp, C sharp, B, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp. Chord is 1, 3, 5, 7, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, E sharp, C sharp, A sharp, F sharp. Melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. Okay, so that's basically it for today. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out and email. But again, we're just building off of the last thing, which was the circle of fifths. And now that we've covered that, we're talking about how to practice scales and make sense of major scales. In further videos, we can talk about some other stuff jumping off of that as well. So, yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this, and feel free to get practicing on that. And I'll see you next time.